Care less about them being together. You honor what we're here for is the DNA about the kid. That's what I want to hear. That's the only thing I want to know. Is he the father of my child? I don't want him. I want the blood test.
I don't like condoms, so I don't use condoms.
Exactly, and I want you to know this.
I'm allergic to latex, so I can use non-latex condoms.
Why people keep saying they're allergic to latex but not allergic to sex?
This woman tried to trap me.
I mean, it's like sex at all. You're right.
On availability, I didn't have the funds.
I told him I'd pay for it.
I wanted to get.
I told him I'd pay for a DNA test, and he did not want to take it.
It never happened.
Do you remember her asking?
Never happened.
The opening statements in the case of Chappelle versus Todd. Cullens goes like the start of a reality TV show episode we never knew we needed. Ms. Chappelle steps into the legal ring, claiming Mr. Todd is the dad of her mini-me, Walisha. And she's not just there for the drama. She wants him to cough up cash for babysitting expenses and lost wages. Mr. Todd, on the other hand, is ducking paternity like it's a sport, egged on by his fiancée, Ms. Cullens, who's got him throwing a counterpunch with a suit for damages to a car that probably has its own dramatic backstory.
Ms. Chappelle, you say the defendant, Mr. Todd, is without a doubt your daughter, Walisia's biological father. You say the only reason he denies her is because fiancée, Ms. Cullens, doesn't want him in your life. Now, you're suing Mr. Todd for $2,475 babysitting expenses and for lost wages.
Can you believe the roller coaster we just got on? Mrs. Chappelle lays out her tale of financial woe, painting a picture of her life turning into a chaotic episode of Babysitter's Club Gone Wrong, after Mr. Todd hit the eject button on his babysitting duties, leading to her losing her job. Mr. Todd, sounding like he's ready to swear on every baby manual he never read, counters with a plot twist saying he never played babysitter or even got the memo about Ms. Chappelle's job situation, essentially calling the entire basis of her claim a work of fiction. Just when you think it can't get more bizarre, the next twist will have you on the edge of your seat.
If you were having sex and she got pregnant, were you using protection every time?
No. It was time when we met, I was pregnant. We never used.
When we met, she was pregnant.
But he accepted me with
But
me
the
and
other
my
thing,
baby.
Walisha, because at the time she was messing around with other guys, and by me being young and just doing crazy stuff same time too, so she was messing with men all at one time.
Hold on to your hats because the whirlwind doesn't stop there. The drama escalates as we dive into the countersuit about the infamous car window smash fest that Ms. Chappelle proudly owned up to during a spicy altercation. This crunchy layer of the saga peels back to show just how tangled the web between Ms. Chappelle, Mr. Todd, and Ms. Cullens is, with a side serving of theft accusations and the kind of dramatic interactions you'd expect in a reality TV show, but without the soothing presence of a host to mediate. If you thought this was peak drama, brace yourself because the next reveal is nothing short of jaw-dropping.
Care less about them being together. You honor what we're here for is the DNA about the kid. That's what I want to hear. That's the only thing I want to know. Is he the father of my child? I don't want him. I want the blood test.
So what exactly do you know about it?
When I first met Miss Chappelle, with me and Mr. Todd, we let her move in.
Wait a minute, you let Miss Chappelle move into the house with you two?
Yes, because where she was living at was not healthy for her, the baby. And when I had a conversation with Mr. Todd, he said, this is a girl trying to put a baby on me, saying that this could be my baby.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more twisted, the DNA bomb drops and Mr. Todd is.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Todd, you are not the father.
The case of Herman versus Houston kicks off with a less than merry meet and greet of the involved parties. Ms. Herman, armed with determination and a potentially game-changing toddler, steps into the ring to tag Mr. Houston as the biological dad of her 2-year-old son, Corey. She's spinning a yarn about how Mr. Houston gave her the old razzle-dazzle, leading a life more suited to a soap opera villain. Mr. Houston, on the other hand, is throwing his hands up, denying paternity, and betting all his chips on the DNA results to scrub his name clean. Just when you think it can't get more convoluted, hold on for the revelation in the next chapter.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Herman versus Houston.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Herman, you are here to prove that Mr. Houston is the biological father of your 2-year-old son, Corey. You contend the defendant duped you and was living a double life. Mr. Houston, you claim that you are not the biological father of Ms. Herman's son and will clear your name when the results are read.
Ms. Herman is not holding back, labeling Mr. Houston as a triple threat, a liar, a cheater, and a Casanova. The plot thickens begins as she details her Sherlock Holmes-worthy sleuthing on Facebook, where she stumbled upon the smoking gun, a photo of Mr. Houston looking as guilty as a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, sporting a wedding band. This photo, she claims, is the final nail in the coffin, evidence of Mr. Houston's secret life that would make even a telenovela writer blush. But the surprises don't stop here. Wait till you hear Mr. Houston's defense.
Mr. Houston, you never informed her of these very important details?
I met her as a gentleman. Before anything, before my father, before my dad, before my liar, before my cheater, before any of these things at all. I'm a man first.
Tell me what happened. How is it you end up getting this woman pregnant and she finds you on Facebook with a ring on and a family?
Anything I got going on before I met her wasn't her business. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't curious about the extra stuff.
So your marriage and your kids and your wife were all extra things.
Mr. Houston's explanation for using his friend's house to entertain Ms. Herman raises suspicions about his integrity. He narrates the progression of their relationship until Ms. Herman's pregnancy discovery, revealing his indifference and subsequent deceit about his marital status. To add insult to injury, he admitted to telling Ms. Herman the house was his, claiming it was technically true in a parallel universe. His attempt at humor did little to win over the audience, who were now convinced his moral compass was spinning like a game show wheel. And here I thought he was just being eco-friendly by recycling his pickup lines, Ms. Herman retorted, earning a wave of laughter from the crowd. Next up, an unexpected voice enters the fray, adding another layer to this tangled web.
When did you two become intimate? That same night?
That same night.
After the club?
He took me home
See,
to
the
his
thing
house,
is this.
and
This
I
woman
went.
right
And
here, she
this
got
is how I
game.
did.
Wait a minute. He took you home to his house. Where was his wife and his kid?
I'm looking under bed sheets. I want to see if there's some stilettos or some thongs under here. I want to make sure. I want to be sure. And when I went through all that stuff, there was no sign of no women or no children in that home.
And which home is this?
I didn't take it my home.
Oh.
Of course, but my buddy, he got married that day.
So it was his home because now he had a new home with his wife.
Exactly.
So this was like his
This
bachelor
is like a
pad.
bachelor pad, you know?
Ms. Houston, the wife, shares her perspective, detailing how she discovered her husband's affair and Ms. Herman's pregnancy through a revealing phone message. This leads to a confrontation between Ms. Houston and Ms. Herman, shedding light on Mr. Houston's duplicity. In the midst of this, Ms. Houston couldn't help but wonder if a simple wrong number excuse would have saved her a lot of drama. She humorously remarks that her detective skills, honed by years of watching crime drama, finally paid off, though she'd have preferred a different case to solve. With emotions running high, the courtroom prepares for the emotional testimony from Ms. Houston herself.
She always got it laid out. She would have candles here, candles there. She would have it smelling good. And she always didn't have no clothes. She always had this one little silk thing that hang tight on her butt.
Mr. Houston, did your wife have any idea you were leaving the house at 2 in the morning and sleeping with another woman?
See, the thing is this, we were already on the verge of going through a divorce. Things wasn't she expected it to be.
Look at his eyebrows.
Maybe you didn't understand my question. Did your wife know you left the house to go sleep with another woman?
No, she did not.
Okay.
You won't believe your ears as Mr. Houston attempts to justify his actions by linking them to the loss of his father and his desire to extend his bloodline. However, this rationale is met with skepticism, and Judge Lake admonishes him for his cavalier attitude towards fatherhood and the emotional consequences of his actions. The judge quips that Mr. Houston's logic was so flimsy it wouldn't hold up in a breeze, let alone a court of law. With a smirk, Judge Lake suggests perhaps Mr. Houston should consider a career in fiction writing, given his creative excuses. But the courtroom is on the edge of its seat, awaiting the bombshell that's about to drop.
You are basically expressing that you experienced an emotional trauma, losing your father.
Exactly.
And you thought by making more children,
I'll be connected with my
you
father.
will be connecting with your father. When you bring children into the world with paternity questions, that's not being a superhero. That's not being the kind of father you say you lost.
I don't like condoms, so I don't use condoms.
Exactly, and I want you to know this.
I'm allergic to latex, so I can use non-latex condoms.
Why do people keep saying they're allergic to latex but not allergic
This
to
woman
sex?
tried to trap
No,
me.
I mean, it's like
sex at all. You're right.
Prepare for a game changer as Ms. Herman throws down the gauntlet, suggesting Mr. Houston might want to start practicing his dad jokes because if he's Corey's father, it's game time for daddy duties. The room buzzes with the kind of anticipation usually reserved for the final episode of a beloved TV series, as everyone waits for the DNA test results that will either tie Mr. Houston to Corey with the unbreakable bonds of parenthood or let him off the hook. The tension is palpable, but nothing could prepare the courtroom for the twist that's about to unfold.
I had his first pair of shoes. I got him some booties. I did everything that I was supposed to do as far as making sure he had car seats. I did all those things. Of course, she ain't gonna give me no credit today.
I'm not, because he came to the baby shower and he dropped off 1 pack of diapers.
That's not true. I didn't even go to the baby shower. See?
I can't build a family with somebody that's already got a family. How am I
Woman,
gonna do that?
it's the same
How does
woman
that
that
work?
shows up to my house with hickeys on her neck. Actually, it wasn't my house again. It was one of my
But I'm not his wife.
Is that why you doubt you're Corey's father?
That's what I'm trying to let you know. I never
In a jaw-dropping moment straight out of a telenovela, the DNA results waltz into the courtroom.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Houston, you are not the father.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
These are the kind of formal introductions you'd expect at a medieval jousting tournament, except the only thing being jousted over is the paternity of Ms. Ganild and Mr. Harden's 2 daughters. Cue dramatic music and possibly a drum roll because the stage is set for a familial showdown that's more gripping than a season finale cliffhanger. You won't want to miss what comes next.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Ganild versus Harden.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. Ms. Ganild, you and your sister agree that the man you've known to be your father is denying paternity.
As the clock ticks down, everyone's on pins and needles, waiting for the DNA results like it's the final episode of their favorite binge-worthy series. Will Mr. Harden's doubts dissolve faster than a sugar cube in hot tea, or will the plot thicken like the world's most dramatic gravy? Stay tuned for DNA results that promise to deliver more twists than a yoga class led by a pretzel. Brace yourself, the intensity escalates from here.
Mr. Harden actually came to our house in Minnesota and with his 2 sisters, in which we all just spent the day together. And the last I recall, I was 11 years old and my sister Kiera was 10.
11, and you're 26 now.
Correct.
15 years ago is the last time you saw him?
Correct.
The narrative shifts to Mr. Harden's defense, his reasons for doubt, and his claim of being prevented from seeing his daughters, which adds complexity to the dispute. It's as if he's trying to navigate a maze blindfolded, with the cheese at the end being quality time with his kids. His side of the story is peppered with plot twists worthy of a daytime soap opera, including dramatic pauses and maybe even an evil twin. Mr. Harden insists that he's not the villain in this story, just a dad who's as confused as a chameleon in a bag of Skittles. The next part is equally jaw-dropping.
Their mother didn't allow me to come around them at all. There's no way I would not want to be around my daughters, Your Honor.
You're lying right there.
I asked for a paternity test from day one. Your Honor, I've always doubted because I used to catch Ms. Ganild with several different men during the course of our relationship. My first daughter was 6 weeks old. I came in from out of town for my aunt's funeral. I came home early to find Ms. Ganild gone. Another lady was in the house. She threw the baby in my arm and ran out the door, Your Honor.
And just when you thought it couldn't get more intriguing, the court starts digging around like a nosy neighbor, pondering if there might be other dads in the picture. Ms. Ganild nods to the idea, kind of like when you agree that yes, there could be other fish in the sea, but you're not sure where you left your fishing rod. And with Mr. Harden's name missing from the birth certificates, it's like he's being asked to pay for a party he wasn't even invited to, which definitely makes everyone scratch their heads over his need to bring diapers to this baby bash. But wait, there's a twist you won't see coming.
He was their biological father because you had been unfaithful.
I was dealing with somebody prior to us getting together. Like I said, prior to us getting together. He was also in a relation. When I first got pregnant, he also, like I said, had another woman pregnant. She was pregnant a month before me.
But more importantly, were you sleeping with anyone else during the time, your oldest child, were you sleeping with anybody else during that window of conception?
When we got together, no. But prior to that, I was with somebody.
Then, like a plot twist in a soap opera, the spotlight turns to the legal mumbo-jumbo and a series of whoopsies that crown Mr. Harden the dad by default. It's as if the law played a game of eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and he lost. This segment shines a comedic yet troubling light on the convoluted paths of the legal system and the adventures of chasing child support like a wild goose. Fun to watch, but bewildering to be part of. The saga continues, and you won't believe what's next.
A friend of mine actually brought it to my attention. He actually told me that she had several different men that she had been engaged with over the time.
Is that true?
No.
But you
David
do
and
admit
I-
that there's at least one other possibility as it relates to your first child, Shanice.
Yeah.
There could be one
Yeah.
more person.
Yeah, could be.
So you do know this. Who's on the birth certificate for Shanice?
Just me.
No father listed. How about Kiera?
No.
You say you owe almost $90,000 between the 2 girls.
A heated exchange about the timing of DNA test requests, financial concerns, and the desire for truth emphasizes the complex motivations and feelings involved in resolving paternity questions. Between jabs about who bought the last round of burgers to whose turn it was to pick the Netflix show, the seriousness of the situation took a backseat, momentarily making everyone forget they were in a legal battle and not a family game night gone wrong. The conclusion is around the corner, and it's more heartwarming than you could imagine.
Why are you letting us call you dad when you doubted this whole time?
No, you don't understand.
No, I don't understand, so explain it. I'd like to
I'm trying to explain it right now. Here we went to court about this. I begged the court to please give me a
You took
paternity
me to
test.
court last the money. You
I
never,
tried.
when you started paying child support payments, that's when you wanted DNA tests. You didn't have none of this before.
Ms. Ganild, or even asked your daughters to take one?
On availability, I didn't have the funds.
I told him I'd pay for it.
I wanted to get.
I told him I'd
we live
pay
in
for a
two
DNA test, and he did not want to take it.
It never happened, Your
Do
Honor.
you remember her asking?
Never happened.
The resolution phase begins with DNA test results revealing Mr. Harden is.
Mr. Harden, you are her father.
Told you. I told you. 26 years.
The case of Knowles versus Lindsley is introduced by Judge Lake, highlighting a complex love triangle leading to a paternity dispute over a 3-month-old son, Tyler Jr. Mr. and Mrs. Knowles aim to prove Mr. Lindsley is not the father, alleging his claims of paternity are an attempt to disrupt their family. Just when you think you've seen it all, the next moment takes the drama up a notch. Buckle up because the roller coaster of drama ain't stopping here.
Mr. and Mrs. Knowles, you previously appeared in court with the defendant for a paternity case involving another child. You're back today because this love triangle has led you to yet another paternity dispute. Mr. and Ms. Knowles, you say you need to prove to Mr. Lindsay that he is not father of your 3-month-old son, Tyler Jr., and believe he's claiming paternity to bust up your happy family.
This part, total circus show. A confrontation over the paternity of Tyler Jr. ensues, with both Mr. Lindsley and Mrs. Knowles providing conflicting accounts of their relationship and the revelation of the pregnancy. The tension escalates as Mr. Lindsley claims he received a text message from Mrs. Knowles suggesting he could be the father, a claim she vehemently denies. And just when you think it couldn't get any more intense, wait until you see what's next. You won't believe the next act in this drama.
Was in the hospital room.
When I said, who did you tell when you found out you were pregnant, I heard 2.
No, I told Mr. Knowles because he was in the room with.
I was in the hospital.
Okay, did you
And
later
my
tell
cell
Mr.
phone-
Lindsley?
No, what I did, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, Your Honor, I posted a Facebook post. All my friends talked to him, Mr. Lindsley. So he could have heard it from one of the 3 people that commented
saying
it.
that she was pregnant with another child that was more than likely mine.
Next up, we've got a real doozy. The debate over Mrs. Knowles' living arrangements and the timeline of her relationships with Mr. Knowles and Mr. Lindsley continues. Both parties present conflicting testimonies regarding when Mrs. Knowles moved out of Mr. Lindsley's house and resumed her relationship with Mr. Knowles, emphasizing the disputed nature of the paternity claim. Stay tuned, because the revelations just keep coming. Seriously, it's like the plot twists have plot twists.
I took a picture of me and my oldest on our couch on March 22nd.
But the issue is that doesn't mean
But
she wasn't still intimate with Mr. Lindsley in April.
We were already
We-
living together,
we
Your
were-
Honor.
we were-
Me and Mr. Lindsley had no contact after I moved out of his house in the middle of March.
That's not true at all.
And Your
because-
Honor.
And you never, after that point, after March 22nd, it's your testimony that you never had sex with Mr. Lindsley again.
No, Your Honor.
Oh boy, it gets even juicier. Mr. Knowles expresses his conviction that Tyler Jr. is his biological child, citing physical resemblances and emotional bonds. The discussion reflects the deep personal stakes involved, as well as the impact of the dispute on the family's dynamics and Mr. Knowles' determination to resolve the paternity question. But hold on, the drama is far from over. Get ready, because this emotional roller coaster has more loops.
Are still struggling with this issue with Mr. Lindsley insisting that he fathered your wife's child.
Yes.
What is it doing to the family?
Tearing us apart because that little boy right there, I know he's mine. Anybody can tell you he's my child. He's got my eyes, he's got my hair, he's even got my...
Your hairline?
Yeah, my hairline.
Same hairline? That's what you were showing me?
Just when you thought you'd seen everything, the naming of the baby as Tyler Jr. becomes a point of contention, with Mr. Lindsley claiming he was told a different name, suggesting manipulation, and further complicating the narrative around the child's paternity and identity. But just when you think you've figured it out, the story takes another surprising turn. Brace yourself, because what comes next is the cherry on this drama Sunday.
About him for the whole year we was together.
And that's a lie and a half, because the friend that hooked me and you up, started dating, even knew about my husband.
But that ain't
She
what we're
sent me
here
a
for.
text.
We're here for the kid.
She sent me a text one day. I didn't know who it was because it was a weird number. After me and her separated, I thought she wanted to leave me, so I deleted her number out of my phone. She sent me a text saying, Dustin wants me to get a divorce so we can get married.
This is exactly what this is. If you look up love triangle in the dictionary right now, it's your 3 heads next to it.
And for the grand finale, the DNA test drama unwraps like the finale of a soap opera, with the envelope in Judge Lake's hand trembling with the weight of destiny. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Get your popcorn ready, because the reveal is going to be epic.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Knowles.